What's going on? What's going on, Film Fam? Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here, my main man, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, how you living, my dog?
Yeah, feeling good, feeling great, man. Just we've been talking about it, man. Them final tickets to the big dance finally got punched, man. So now it's just a waiting game till we get to all the fun and the goodness.
Of course, man. So we all waiting on that. We know we all gonna be right front center. You know what I'm saying? When that happens, of course, you know what I'm saying? So we know we're gonna be in the building, man. We had some very, very interesting games, to say the least, man. To say the least. But before we get into all of that, of course, we're gonna get into so those conference championship games, man. We got house rules. We got house rules, and of course, same as always, man. I need y'all to like, I need y'all to share, and I need y'all to subscribe. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of time right now before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything. So go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and share that video, and go ahead and subscribe for us. You know what I mean? Hey, we got a lot of stuff going on, and we got a lot of room. So please become the newest member of the Film Fam, man. And I guarantee you, we won't let you down. Also, one last thing, you got to hit that notification bell. You know what I'm saying? You know what we got cooking? How do you find out what me and Willie Jack got cooking if you don't hit that notification bell? You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and hit that notification bell. And again, like I said, I guarantee you, we won't let you down. Now, speaking of the Super Bowl, Willie Jack, of course, I must remind them again, man, as I do each and every week, man. I got them, let them know, man. Willie Jack, it's going to be me and you. We're going to be live.
Yeah.
Face. Live under the same roof, man. Under the same lights, as I said before. Live for the Super Bowl preview show, man. So tune in to your boys, Chop and Willie in the morning, because that's what's going down, man. For the first time ever, Chop and Willie Jack will be in the same room, on the Let the Film Speak show. And I know y'all, man, hey, we want y'all in there with us, man. Tune in, talk some trash with us, and y'all know how we get down, man. Y'all know how we get down.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, man, it ain't hard for us to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? So now you can have us in the same building, in the same room, doing the same thing that we always do. Come on, man. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know what time it is.
Y'all know exactly what time it is.
Yeah.
You know exactly what time it is. So,
hey, real quick shout out, man. We got a couple of members in the building early today, man. Day one gang Jarrell in this thing, man. Our dog Tom in this thing, man. They already ready to rock out, man. Let's get it.
Hey, man, but we ain't wasting no time then, man. We ain't wasting no time, man. We're going to get right to it. Of course, let's start this show off with some news, though, Willie Jack. And I think the biggest news of them all, I guess we can hit that one first, man. We got Sean Payton. We've been waiting on it. We've been talking about it. Sean Payton has become the new head coach of the Denver Broncos, man. And breaking down the details of this, it actually was a trade. The Saints get a 2023 first round pick, which is the 29th overall pick. Okay, and they get a 2024 second round pick. And of course, Denver, you know what they get? They get Sean Payton, and they also get a 2024 third round pick. So, hey man, there's the deal. Is Sean Payton the guy to turn what looked like a disaster around in Denver, Willie Jack?
Man, and it's one of those things where if anybody can, he's the man for the job. I tell you that. So if anybody can, it'll be Sean Payton for sure. I think and I you know what? I don't know if I was talking to. I can't remember if I was talking to Tom or I might have been talking to my homeboy Loke. But when I was realizing is that even deeper than just Sean Payton and what he is and what he's going to bring to that team and the table, we know what Sean Payton is. You know what I'm saying? His resume speaks for itself. But another thing as well that we should think about is Russell Wilson 5'10". You know what I'm saying? And so Sean Payton, for all the innovation, all the great things he's done, he did it with an undersized quarterback as well. And a guy, but not a guy that necessarily plays like a Kyler Murray, because Russell Wilson, for even all his ability and his athleticism, he's never been at all anything close to a run first style of quarterback. He has always been a guy that, for better or worse, if it's a RPO, doesn't matter what the end was doing, 85-90% of those was gives regardless. You know, I mean, it's just been the way he's played ball. And then he's more so one to live as a drop back passer. And so even Sean Payton, that not being an obstacle. You know what I'm saying? Like when you 5'10" and everybody blocking in front of you is 6'4", you got to play the game a little different. You know what I'm saying? So that's not going to be foreign territory for Sean Payton at all. And I don't know what made me think about that. And not to say that was an issue for Nathaniel Hackett, you know what I'm saying, who dealt with, 6'2" and change Aaron Rodgers all this time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Dangerous can't hit them same throws, can't see them same lanes as Alex. I don't know. But I don't know. I thought I was talking to somebody about that. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't think about it in that light.
That is an interesting fact. That's not something that most people bring up. So I liked it. I like the fact, man.
Yeah, for sure. I just thought about it randomly. And then another thing as well is the weapons there. Like we talked about them when it was 2 years ago, I think now, when it was looked at that Aaron was trying to make a move. That was one of the places that me and you thought was a good fit because of the young group of talent they had. So you still got those guys. I think Jerry Jeudy may be coming up on a potential contract year though, but he's definitely going to be there. And if I'm Jerry Jeudy, I'm not leaving to go get a bag nowhere else when Sean Payton's coming in. I can only increase my value. You know what I'm saying? So I expect he's going to be there. Cortland Sutton, who's flashed, but then has dealt with some injury, etc. So Cortland Sutton still got Jerry Jeudy. See what maybe he can get out of KJ Hamler. I can't even think of the small, speedy guy they had paired with Marcus Colston even back in the day. But so all the pieces are there. They've still got a very solid foundation on their defense. And I'll tell you something else. That when Vic Fangio announced that he took that DC job in Miami, that right there was I started thinking that, okay, like, well, yeah, Sean Payton must be going to Denver. Because one of the things we talked about was, one of the things that it came out was early in the game when Sean Payton put his name back in the hat, it was already kind of announced or leaked that Vic Fangio was coming with him. Vic Fangio already signed up to be the DC. And then even at that time, we might have talked about it on the show. I was like,
we talked about it, and I thought about it. I thought Vic Fangio may go back, and you said, nah, he ain't going back.
He ain't going back because he got fired from the head job. I'm not coming back as the number 2 if I got fired from the head job. Yeah. So when he took Miami, I was like, okay, yeah. Sean Payton narrowing in, or they must be closing in on Denver because, I just imagine, like, you've been the manager at, you know what I'm saying, you're at a job. Ain't no way you going back to be the assistant. I can't see it. Like, that's hard, so I was kind of thinking that too. But no, I like it. Man, tough division, tough understatement. You know what I'm saying? Tough division. Patty Cake's home turf over there. He's big brother. Then you got of course, Justin Herbert there, you know what I'm saying, making some noise as well. And so we'll see what the Raiders do. But no, so tough division, man, ain't gonna be nothing given over there. But I'm excited to see what they do. You know what I'm saying? And then especially for Russ as well, man. Russ gotta clean his name up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of disservice to his name and legacy in this 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm anxious to see where it goes though, for sure.
Yeah, and I think those things probably will stay. I mean, like he can come back and I think people can still view him as a good quarterback, but I still think people are going to say, well, you ain't do it without Sean Payton or Pete Carroll. You know what I'm saying? You needed a coach that can, put you in certain positions in order to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of those things are going to stay. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the rest of Russell Wilson's career. And I went on ahead and said this too, Willie Jack. I've said that, I still got faith in Russell Wilson. It's just still hard for me to believe and I think this will probably be the year for me to say, all right, I'm done with it. But it's still hard for me to believe after 6, 7, good or great years that 2 years changed my mind. One of them is an injury, riddle year, but the second one was just a terrible year. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to just take that and say that's who he is. I'm still rolling with the 6, 7 years or how many years it was of good ball that we've seen versus the last 2 years that we've seen. So I still think that. And here's another interesting fact too, Willie Jack, is the fact that Sean Payton, Russell Wilson is not the face anymore. With Sean Payton rolling in the door, Sean Payton is the face of the team now. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson, you're not the man no more. Ain't no more Broncos, let's ride. You know what I mean? So that means you have to fall in line behind who's the man now, which is Sean Payton. Yeah. Sean Payton step in the building. No, you're gonna do what he needs you to do on his team. This is my team now. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. It was your team. You had the big, everything was around Russell Wilson going to the Denver Broncos, and Nathaniel Hackett was coming second to Russell Wilson. It ain't that no more. You know what I'm saying? Same situation with Kyler Murray. It was Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. You know what I'm saying? And then there was in certain other situations, you can see the quarterback and then the head coach. Nah, not with Sean Payton in the building. Russell Wilson, you're gonna fall in line, my dog.
Hey, you know what that made me think of, Brad? In a training day when Denzel Washington showed up, was like, y'all just live here. I run this.
I'm running this here.
Y'all just live here. Sean Payton walked in there like this. He gonna probably walk past Russ' office. You know what I'm saying? Tell him stand up. Stand up, Russ. I need to talk to you.
They mess around trade offices. Like, hey, you was in the wrong office. Hey, Russ back in the locker room with the rest
Russ
of your
probably got purple mountains in his window right now. You know, so he got a beautiful view of sunset. He got the premium corner offices. Yeah, so they get that straight. That's another thing too. Who got fired for that terrible Broncos campaign, man, when Russ got there? Who got fired? Because somebody had to bite that bullet. That was a terrible.
Hey man, I'm by myself, man. But I kind of liked it before they started. Playing Broncos. Let's ride.
And the thing about it is like it probably wasn't even meant to be. That's got to be a say. And I don't know how the Broncos get down. I would imagine that's probably a long time Broncos thing anyway. But just Russell, I think somebody miscalculated like Russell's pop appeal. You know what I'm saying? Because for everything that with Russ, we can't get around it. A lot of people view him as a cornball. You know what I'm saying? And so you got a dude who maybe can be viewed in certain circles as a cornball, and you got him showing up trying to be Joe Cool, and it just never, you know what I'm saying? It just never, it really just got that whole season off on the wrong foot, bro. Just like Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying, out here trying to, you know what I'm saying, have swag and whatever, like he Tom Brady, and like, nah, bro, nah, man, we don't look at you like that. Like, be cool and do what you got to do, big dog. But yeah, let's ride. So that's funny, bro.
I got you. And then a couple other points I do want to make in regards to that, Willie Jack. So in terms of Sean Payton coming in and now being the face of that franchise, he's also going to have, unlike Nathaniel Hackett, Sean Payton's going to have his hand on more things, on moves that the team will make in terms of player personnel.
Oh, yeah.
In that draft room, Sean Payton is going to have his hand heavily involved in that. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain coaches that get a little bit more pull in certain areas than other coaches. Some coaches is there to coach, and that's it. Whoever we put on this team, you coach them. That's your job, is to coach them. Some and other coaches, it's like, nah, I'm controlling who I want on this team, who we drafting, who we gonna trade for, who we gonna put a deal. Like, it's different. It's different levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And as my dog Willie Jack said, hey, Sean Payton is coming in, and he's gonna have his hand and all that. He's one of the ones.
One of the ones, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's a good thing, and that's another good point, because that was the issue with Byron Leftwich last year. The Jaguars' job was essentially his, but he wanted either like roster say or he wanted to be able to have to sit in that room as well, and the Jaguars wouldn't give him that leeway, and that's why that deal didn't come to fruition. And then, you know what I'm saying, they go through and get Doug Peterson, so it worked out. It definitely worked out for the Jaguars there. But now it's just like you said, everybody can't get that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got that pull. Everybody ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got that that level of pull or swag. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do it. But yeah, Sean Payton, he definitely one of the ones. Like you said, man, Sean gonna get what he want. We seen that already. And then the premium draft picks they gave up to get him, man, lets us know that. And so that the draft picks for Sean Payton and the draft picks for Russell Wilson. I seen some memes and someone was like, man, the Broncos and the Rams both waiting to pick until like 2030. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like draft picks go, it's something crazy. So man, it's all in or nothing. Like I said, 250 games.
And to be honest, I forgot they still had a first round pick, but they got that one from Miami.
The Bradley Chubb.
The Bradley Chubb and that deal. Yeah. So the good thing they had it, because if not, man, they might be sitting here looking for, I don't know.
Man, it wouldn't happen. It couldn't happen because I don't know if the Broncos, without this pick, I don't know when their next first round pick was, but Miami probably wasn't gonna wait that long, or New Orleans probably wasn't gonna wait that long to get that one. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, exactly, bro. Like you said, it all came full circle.
Yeah, and going off of last thing in regards to this, and Willie Jack, if there's some comments you want to hit, we hit those. But just reading off Sean Payton's resume, man, you got a head coach coming into the building that's 152-89 as a head coach of the New Orleans Saints. He's a Super Bowl champ and a 2006 Coach of the Year, man. So like you said earlier, and at the top of this, if anybody can turn this around, Sean Payton can.
Ooh, and another good question real quick for my dog, Day One Gang, Jarrell, man. He said, how many of those Saints going to try to relocate themselves to Denver, man, to play with Coach Payton? And now, you know what? I didn't think of that because what's Buddy, man? Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas in New Orleans. You know
I don't think they got along, though.
Oh, him and Sean Payton? I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, I don't know if they got along, and that is a good question, you know, but I am curious to see like who ends up over there. You know, with Bradley Chubb out of the building, does Cameron Jordan try to find his way over there? Ooh, you know what I mean?
Nah, he's all time Saints. I think he wants to hold on to that. Like if you ever listen to him in trust levels with him and Mark Ingram, like I think he really like he's a Saint through and through. Like he knows his place in the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an all time guy. Like I don't think because he's so ingrained. Like I don't know about him, but I'm thinking more so on the offensive side of the ball. Like some of those guys, like I was thinking maybe Michael Thomas because we already know he's already gone. That's already going to be done. But see, I didn't know about him and Sean Payton's relationship behind the scenes. So yeah, that then maybe not there. But then also, whenever this news comes out about Kamara, man, it's whatever that finally falls and hits the fan, and I don't know how that shakes out, or if Kamara doesn't want to sit around for the whatever kind of process they going through. You know what I'm saying? Going forward, if he's thinking, man, I'll take my talents over to Denver, man, get back in the goods. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's the young Melvin Ingram and Alvin Kamara with Javonte Davis coming back, and of course he's coming off an injury, but you know maybe that's that new combination that Sean Payton has to work with. You know, he got his Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas. You know what I'm saying?
Michael Thomas and Jerry Jeudy. There you go. Yeah.
So and he got those guys. So. So I mean, so yeah, like I said, we'll see how it works, man. We'll see how it comes. I know what you meant.
I caught it late. Yeah, my fault.
It's all good. All good. Yeah. So we'll see how that falls. Moving on to the next one, Willie Jack. Let's talk about another head coaching vacancy that's no longer a vacancy. D'Amico Ryans, man, former DC defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, lands a 6-year deal as the head coach of the Houston Texans. Man, he's a guy that me and Willie Jack have been praising throughout the season on a great job that he did with the 49ers defense. A former player of the Texans, as Willie Jack told y'all, from 2006 to 2011. A two-time Pro Bowler, led the league in solo tackles his rookie year, man. And of course, he has a little bit of history when it comes to the Houston Texans. Couple other facts I'm gonna throw out here too, Willie Jack, before I turn it over to you.
Go ahead.
He's the second defensive coordinator, and this is kudos to the 49ers organization, but second defensive coordinator from the 49ers in the last 3 years to land a head coaching job. Of course, we got Robert Saleh over in with the New York Jets, and you see the job that he's done so far. He's done a pretty good job. So, and the Houston Texans are now the first organization in NFL history to have hired 3 consecutive Black head coaches, man. A fact that once I started reading into it, I was like, oh, okay, that's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? To look into that and see that.
Well, who was? Well, I know they got D'Amico Ryans now. I guess they, you know what I'm saying, they get the credit for Lovey. You know what I'm saying? After everything else fell apart, and then they let Lovey, they bailed themselves out with just letting Lovey take over. Who was before Lovey? I thought before Lovey was
Culley.
Oh yeah,
Culley.
David Culley, the offensive coordinator from the Ravens. And everybody been hating that damn Ravens offense for 8 years. Or he wasn't even offensive coordinator. He was the receivers coach. The receivers coach from the Ravens. Got the head coach job down there in Houston. I remember that.
So D'Amico Ryans, he lands that job, man. And here's my thing, man. I like the opportunity, but I'm still a little bit leery of the organization because of all the silly things that they've been doing over the last few years. Starting going back to D-Hop, that situation, and all the just bonehead moves they've been making and all the questionable decisions they've been making. That's what I was kind of worried about in terms of this organization. And I'm to the point now where it's like, Houston, Texas, this is a message from me to you. I don't think it will be, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Hey man, don't make this a one and done job. If this guy ain't out here pulling no Nathaniel Hackett's and stuff like that, don't make this no 1 year and done. You need to build stability. You need to allow him to work, to try to put something together. This is not a good organization right now. This is not a good team right now. So he's not about to come out here and get 10 wins his first year as the head coach of this team. So Houston Texans, as an organization, in order to start this off and start to build some stability, you have to give that man a chance. Allow him to do what he needs to do in order to, build this team up. I'm just going to say that off the top. Willie Jack, what you think of the move, man?
No, well, I like the hire, man. I love the hire. And honestly, this is when my dog Tom in the building, man. He's our resident Houston Texans fan, man. And so I was telling Tom for, man, last few weeks now for sure, man, that job that's D'Amico Ryans' job, man. It just makes too much sense. He's probably the hottest. For me, he was this season's Byron Leftwich. Because last season, man, I couldn't wait to see Byron Leftwich get a job. And then I really thought I liked that mix with him and the Jaguars, get a young Trevor Lawrence. He was a past quarterback of that organization as well. And so those kind of things lined up. And they were, like I said, they were close to getting that job done. But like I said, how much input into the roster, et cetera, so those things fall apart. But this one lined up the better. So he was definitely the hottest name for me, man, the hottest coordinator name. Another former player, and definitely showed his chops, man. That Niners defense was phenomenal. I mean, and so the last several years, but then this year particularly regarded as, for the most part, as the top defense in the league. And so just seeing kind of what he's done there, put his own spin on that defense, man. And so I was super excited. It just lined up, just teed up. Now, one thing I would say about the stability for the organization, I look at it a little different because I don't think they didn't want to hire Culley and Lovie Smith. Lovie particularly, you know what I'm saying? Like they found themselves in positions where they were last chose at the dance. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else had a partner except them, and then they had to fall back and grab somebody. And so I didn't see those as real. That was the one they had and not the one they wanted. But D'Amico Ryans is a different style of hire. He's an attractive candidate. You want him. He's got real chops. He checks all those boxes. He's a former player, former legend with your team. I think he's in the Ring of Honor for the Texans. And honestly, because I liked D'Amico Ryans when he was playing back then. I was a fan of his, and then him and Brian Cushion. So they had a little tandem there. And they was nice. You know what I'm saying? Now Cushion had a little extra juice. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended. You know what I'm saying? But not real talk, bro. I used to like those Texas teams, that defense. You know what I'm saying? I really did. D'Amico Ryans was balling. I think he went to Alabama, if I remember. But yeah, they was balling. Brian Cushion came over there. They had Antonio Smith out there. They had a D lineman that was out there banging on it. I feel like he got in like a fight every other week. Tom might know, but they had some ones over there, man. I just liked them, and then I always liked Andre Johnson. So it made sense, man. He's a real player. He was a real baller while there, and now he gets to go home and turn that ship around. And so I think it was already announced as a 6-year deal. I don't know the money. I believe it was announced as a 6-year deal.
It's a 6-year deal.
Okay, yeah.
The money is not out just yet. So
yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's pretty much standard. I feel like most of the times with the new coaching hires, I think 6 years seems to be the kind of the number, because I think Matt Rule's contract when he signed even just two years ago was a 6-year deal. I think that's kind of the going contract for a coach these days. So, but I think, like I said, I think this one's a little different than Lovie Smith, and how it was so obvious there was just nobody left. You fell apart, or you bailed out on Brian Flores. Didn't want to take that heat with everything that was going on between him and the Dolphins, and him, raising those issues and bringing those things to the light. So, which is commendable for him. And so they fizzle out or buzz out there, and then it almost felt like, well, hey, we've got a black guy here on the staff. We don't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? We'll let Lovie can sit in this chair for a year. And then that's why from the gate, I never expected Lovie to hold on to this, just the way it came about. But be that as it may, man, now they've actually got a guy in there, the hopefully the right guy. No, it's definitely the right guy for the job. And then, like I said, now how long does it take to get success there? We'll see. But I think they've got to be conscious of all the things you just said to where they can't afford to, like I said, to trick this off. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to have the time. And honestly, man, I don't think it's going to be the spurts where the Texans decided to show up and play. They played with it would be the good teams that they played well. You know what I'm saying? And this even goes back to last year's Colts, who were essentially a playoff team, and they spank them and keep a division right out the playoffs. And just dog them. And so, man, like I said, it's a young team they're building. They still got 2 draft picks in this year's first round as well. And so I'm not gonna lie, man. I think he gets them competitive. Maybe not year 1, but year 2, I think they're gonna be competitive, especially in that division, which is already kind of so up and down. The Jags end up coming on the end of the year and winning that division, but they weren't at all a dominant team. They're not 3 steps ahead of everybody else in that division.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're at the front of that division, but everybody there is still right there in the mix, almost like the NFC South. And so everybody's still right there. So that he can get in there and get that turned around and get them competitive right there in that division here in these first 3 years for sure. But I look for year 2. I think it could turn around that quick.
Got you. In regards to no, I think no, never mind. I think you hit everything pretty much on the head. So I think we're good there. Tom come through. What'd you say? 2 to 3 years we'll be competing. I can possibly see that. Now that's what I was gonna say. D'Amico Ryan. There's one thing about this Houston Texans team that was pretty solid for them is their defense. So he has a little bit to work with on the defense. And I think that him coming from this team and being the defensive mind that he is, I think that defense will continue to play well. Now the thing is who does he bring in on his team as an OC to run that offense, to put things together on that end of things so that offense starts to turn around. Now we already know what they're going for in the draft. They going to QB. You know what I'm saying? So who do they bring in? Can they develop them? And what does that look like? So I'm interested in all those different things, man. I want to see how everything looks.
No, for sure. Definitely, like you said, in this upcoming draft, seeing who they get to be the young trigger man going forward, that's going to be key for sure. They'll get one of the top 2 or 3. I guess there's 3 names at this point. There's Bryce Young considered on his own step, and then you've got C.J. Stroud and now Will Levis. And so between those, I guess top 3, generally the top 3 guys, which one of those guys they get, but we'll see how that plays out. Shout out to our dog, man. Kevin Wilkinson in the building, man. Real deal STL Sports. He asked a question, man. He's talking about the Broncos trade, or excuse me, the Sean Payton trade to the Broncos, and do they trade Russ? And no way at all. Impossible. They're tied to Russ for at least another 4 seasons. His guaranteed money is through the roof. And so he's guaranteed for it was $245 million, I think was that contract. I think something like 150 in that was guaranteed, or 145 of that, or 140. So I mean, it'd be impossible to move that. Nobody's taking on that contract, and nobody's taking on that contract coming off the year that Russ just had. You know what I'm saying? So if it's look how hard it is now, or even these last couple of years to move a Ryan. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and he's Rodgers, and so he's super hard to move. We hear all this chatter about the Jets, but moving a $50 million a year contract that just can't happen. And especially, I mean, you've got to have some type of crazy. The only person that can be moved at $50 million a year is Patty Cakes Mahomes. If Patty Cakes Mahomes ain't on the market for $50 million a year, ain't nobody getting moved. I can't see who else a team would entertain that for. There's only one of those guys, and I think that's Patrick Mahomes. And so, like I say, hey, I don't see it. And like I said, it's just, even if they was willing to supply, there's no demand for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be one another. It don't matter what you're selling if ain't nobody buying. And I don't think anybody's buying it, even if they tried to sell it. He had another question as well, man. Who do they look at for the QB RB spot? Is that what you were just answering? Is that for the Texans? I assume it's got to be the Texans. I assume it's got to be the Texans because I think Russ is definitely going to be in that seat for the Broncos, and then they've got the young guy Javonte, man, who's a dog. He got injured, so I think they solidified. So I'll assume he's talking to Texans, and then if that's the point, it's all going to come down to do the Bears move off that number 1 spot or not. If the Bears stay there at the number 1, then they're probably taking Jalen Carter, the defensive lineman out of Georgia, and then that locks them into the top guy that they would want in this draft, which most would assume would be Bryce Young. And so now if somebody like the Colts at 4, do they move into that number 1 spot to maybe get Bryce Young, or assuming, like I said, if he's kind of looked at as consensus one. So does somebody jump them to get into that Bears spot to maybe get Bryce Young from them, or do they make a move like the Niners, when the Niners finessed the Bears all those years ago and had them trade one spot to get Mr. Trubisky instead of Deshaun Watson? And so we don't know how that stuff plays out. We definitely know that John Lynch is savvy enough to finesse, or he was savvy enough to finesse the Bears a time too. So maybe the Bears learned that lesson and maybe they try to pull that on the Texans, and we'll see just how how desperate or nervous they are about it. But unless it's the Colts moving up from 4, I think they're probably going to get their guy, and so we'll see. Now at the running back spot, Damian Pierce is going to be nice. So the young guy out of Florida they had, he's going to be solid. They've got a decent line there. You still got Larry Tunsil, who's playing very good ball on a very bad team, and then the rest of that line, most of those guys are just guys. But like I said, they've got the young guy they drafted in this last year draft, Kenyon Green, I think. So he'll get another year of experience. So they've got some pieces there. But Damian Pierce, especially in the early going, he's definitely going to be the foundation of that offense for sure. I would imagine going forward, especially while they sort out the quarterback situation. He did say the Broncos. He did. Oh, he was talking about the Broncos. No, Javonte's a dog. I think me and Chop both have come to saying that. Now he to show he got some real dog in him. So
they find that running back. They'll be all right. Yeah, Javonte has been hurt all year.
Yeah, exactly. So if he's healthy, he's there. That's his spot for sure. And then, like I said, man, I don't see even. Okay, he does say yes, they're moving. Yes, they moving. Did something come out that they trying to move Russ? I didn't see that. If it came out, Kevin. If he's,
I haven't seen them either.
Oh no, okay. I'm reading all his comments back to back. Okay, never mind. Okay, now he's talking about the Bears got to move. Okay, yeah, it would make sense for the Bears to move because they've got so many holes, and that number 1 pick is normally so valuable. But like I said, it's all going to be, can they play the Texans and the Colts off each other? Like how desperate are the Colts to get that number 1 spot to make sure they get whatever quarterback that they want? And I think I think that's the move that makes sense for me for both sides, because the Bears want Jalen Carter, who's probably going to be the number 1 overall player in this draft, and it's a position of need for them as well. So they definitely want him, but at what expense? And so if you can get off that number 1 spot, pick up a couple draft picks, and then still get your guy, and then worst case, if you move to 4, then I would think Jalen Carter goes 3 to Arizona. He's going to be the first 9 quarterback off the board. And so even if you move back to 4, then as a consolation prize, you get Will Anderson, who was looked at as, if he would have been in the draft last year, he'd have been the number 1 player. And so you really can't. It's a no lose essentially for the Bears. So I agree with you that the Bears should move off that pick. But who's coming to get it? I don't know if the Panthers have enough draft capital to come all the way up from 9 to get it, because they're definitely going to need a quarterback or get a quarterback this year as well. So I don't know if they can have enough ammo to go from 9 to 1. So the one that makes the sense is the Colts, sitting right there at number 4, and it still locks you in to one of the top 2 players in this draft, in Jalen Carter and Will Anderson.
For sure. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We had another move, man. To the OC position, man. We had Kellen Moore, former OC of the Cowboys, get picked up right away, man, after he got dropped from the Cowboys, and he's now the OC of the Los Angeles Chargers, man. And with this move, I kind of felt like this is another one of those moves, and it kind of goes vice versa, right? So earlier, like a couple shows ago, I talked about how a few offensive coordinators are getting covered up, and a few offensive coordinators, or just few coaches in general, are getting covered up by good players, and good players being able to make plays and do what they do, and it's making those OCs and DCs and head coaches look better than what they really are. But on the other side, some bad play by some players, and other positions will cause some certain coaches to get cut. You know what I'm saying? Get knocked off. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. Kellen Moore is not like one of the top or best offensive minds in the league, but he certainly wasn't the issue there. I think it was like, all right, we got to find something, and somebody had to be the scapegoat, and Kellen Moore was that guy, which is the reason why the Cowboys got rid of him, which is why he got picked up so fast, because the Chargers realized, hey, man, this is a good offensive mind guy. You know what I mean? Me and Willie Jack sit and watched the game, and we saw open guys for the Cowboys.
There's open guys.
We just saw Dak Prescott miss them. You know what I mean? We've seen them watch that, and we've seen this offense be explosive. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that things like this happen and somebody has to go. Like, and for me, it's like, this is why I come down there and say, man, come on, man, be a good organization, be somebody different. You don't just because certain things like this happen, man, don't mean you have to necessarily fire a guy like Kellen Moore. That guy did nothing. Didn't you try to ruin a guy's reputation? You know what I mean? You ruin a guy's reputation by quote unquote firing him because you had to find somebody. Byron Leftwich is another prime example of that. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it's like these guys are good coaches and they've proven to be good coaches. And it's just like because your team didn't play well, or I don't know what y'all reasons are, man. But y'all need to do something, man. Y'all need to do something because this ain't working, and y'all proving that y'all are terrible organizations. And you know what that means to me? With Dak Prescott as a quarterback, if he continues to play the way that he's been playing, Mike McCarthy, you next, man. It's only a matter of time, bro. Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time because they're gonna have to blame it on somebody else. Okay, we got rid of an OC already. Who's next?
And that to me was exactly what this move was about. And so Mike McCarthy, who's been considered on the hot seat down for definitely the parties. There's been whispers about this McCarthy move or him already being on the hot seat for, I'd say, like these last 2 years for sure. And especially when Sean Payton announced he was stepping away for a year or was coming back, there was whispers there that, oh, man, Sean Payton, like I said, he came up in Dallas under Parcells. And so it could have been a return to home for him as well. And so those whispers are already there in the background anyway. Now, that didn't come to fruition, of course, but the Mike McCarthy, it feels like he's almost been on the hot seat since day one that he got there. And so now, just like you said, I think it's one of those things where this is Mike McCarthy's last year. So they didn't fire Mike McCarthy and go all in on pursuing Sean Payton. And so they did give him this last year. But I think the message is definitely I can imagine from Jerry, there was no unequivocally, the message is, no, we need to make some real noise. We got to get to that NFC Championship game. We have to be in a position to pursue a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't gotten over that hump. And so, and the last 2 years knocked out by the same team. 2 years ago was probably the one that really stings. You know what I mean? The way they lost at home to the Niners, the way they did with just the way that game fell apart in the final moments. Now, also, Mike McCarthy's not the one out there bungling the snap, running into the referee, etc. That's another thing that we can attribute to Dak. But like I said, I mean, when a team is unprepared, that's what you put on the coach, because you look to a coach for penalties, how disciplined is the team, and then, like I said, late game clock management. You know what I mean? Like how prepared are we? That those are things that generally go straight to. Those are things that generally fall right in the coach's lap. And so, you know what I'm saying, everything that happened that last year, and then now they come back this year. Now you're on the road going to see San Francisco, and you have a game. It's that game was 13-20 was the final score. A game right there to be won, and you just can't get anything done offensively as far as scoring the ball. 2 turnovers from Dak doesn't help at all anyway. And then there was just a long stretch of that game where Dak just didn't see the field. I mean, there's no other way to say. I mean, just didn't see guys. And so I think it's like you said, man. Somebody's got to bite the bullet. This being Mike McCarthy's last go round to save his job in Dallas, and so he's like, okay, if I'm going out with, because he's going to take over the play calling now. So he's okay. Yeah, if I'm going out, I can't get it done. Okay, Kellen, go ahead, get up out of here. There was talks that he didn't necessarily want Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was a Jerry Jones decision more so than a Mike McCarthy decision anyway. So part of Mike McCarthy taking his job was that because he took that job. Kellen Moore was the third string quarterback under Dak and behind the other backup there for a number of years, and he had just shown sitting in those quarterback rooms. Essentially, they had him teed up. Oh, he's going to be a coach. They was like, oh, we done found Sean McVay. You know what I'm saying? And so he moves directly from third string quarterback to offensive coordinator. And this is when Mike McCarthy got hired. So he wasn't a Kellen Moore. He didn't want Kellen Moore in there anyway. And so now I guess, like I said, his job's on the line. And then I guess let Kellen Moore be the scapegoat for how poorly the offense performed in this divisional loss to San Francisco. And so I think it's just like you said. Mike McCarthy's, like I said, the seat can't get no hotter. And if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out swinging. I'm going to swing for myself. And so he's going to be the guy calling those plays. I did see an article that said they are still going to hire someone to sit in the chair of offensive coordinator, but it's going to be much like we see from Andy Reid, much like we've seen from Sean McVay, like we've seen from Kyle Shanahan. There'll be somebody sitting in that chair, but the guy pulling the trigger, the guy calling the plays is going to be the head coach. That's going to be Mike McCarthy. And so the goal is going to be for him to, I guess, finally get a chance to implement the offense that he had in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, that they had all the success for so many years before those egos got in the way of before they fell out between those egos. And so, but yeah, man. So I'm anxious to see what it looks like. And how that plays out. But as far as the move for Kellen Moore to the Chargers, I like it. I mean, like I said, especially Chargers fans, man. Our dog Ike, man, Ike ain't in here today. I haven't seen him yet. If you're in here, say something, man. But as far as the move to the Chargers itself, I think it's a good hire. I like it. It's like he's a young guy, innovative guy, and like Chop just said, man, that Cowboys offense. There was a lot of things that Cowboys offense did very well. You know what I mean? And then there was a lot of other opportunities and plays on the field that just weren't getting made. But like I said, did we charge at the Kellen Moore? Did we charge at the Dak Prescott? And so, but the big thing is, I do feel like Dak in that offense, they was up the field. You know what I'm saying? They did get the ball at the field, and that's been, I guess, a critique or a knock against Justin Herbert and the OC before, is that it was too much dink and dunk, and you've got a guy with an arm as explosive as Herbert, and we're not using it. You know what I'm saying? So now I think with Kellen Moore coming there and being aware, he knows what's going on as far as the starting stuff. So I think we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll see more explosive downfield passing game for sure. And so I think it's a good move for both sides, man. I'm excited to see how that plays out.
For sure, and I'm with you on that, Willie Jack. I want to see how it plays out too. He's got a lot of weapons. He's got an up and coming quarterback. You know, let's see if Kellen Moore could, turn Herbert into the guy that we say he can potentially be. And if so, I think if he does do that, then I think that's going to also open the door up for Kellen Moore a couple years down the road to possibly get a head coaching job. So sure. we'll see. But this is a great opportunity for Kellen Moore. If I'm him, I'm super happy because I leave this particular situation, which I think it had a cap on it. It had a ceiling. And I go to another situation with an even higher ceiling. So yeah, I'm happy if I'm Kellen Moore in this particular job.
Oh yeah. No, I'll trade working for Dak Prescott. I'll trade working with Justin Herbert over Dak Prescott. Like I'll take that. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. On to other coaching news, Willie Jack. We have Vic Fangio, man. He gets hired as the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. How you feel about this one, man?
Man, I like that hire as well, man. I really do. And that Dolphins defense has a lot of very good pieces on it, man. And so and then just seeing Vic Fangio, where his defense is, everywhere he goes, the defense takes a noticeable jump. And so for me, I guess it starts with his time under Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, under Jim Harbaugh with the Niners, that defense, that vaunted defense with Patrick Willis. Man, Patrick was in Navarro Bowman. Man, we were just talking about him. Well, that was Vic Fangio's defense. You know what I'm saying? And then the other guys on that defense, Justin Smith, the resurrected, you know what I'm saying? Not even resurrected, but longtime Bengals 4-3 base end. He comes over there, and then man, his career goes to a whole nother level playing out there in the Niners. Alden Smith, that's where Alden Smith came in and set the league on fire. Like he's a guy, one of these guys that is going to get lost in the frame of history from this game. But for the first 3 years of his career, there had been nobody more dominant rushing passer since Reggie White. Like his sack numbers, it was nuts. You know what I'm saying? The track he was on couldn't get out his own way, and so now he goes to that Dolphins defense, man, where you've got a Bradley Chubb who just came, who you just got from the Broncos. They just cashed him out. He's $100 million man, and so they're looking at him to lead that, to be the big sack guy on that team. And then Christian Wilkins. I want to say out of Clemson. When he came in,
Clemson.
Yeah, stud. He's a guy. He's a dude that's balling as well. And then they've got a lot of now their linebacker core on the inside. Man, damn, now I can't think of those guys' names, but it's an athletic bunch, man. I'm trying to think of one of them in particular. It'll come to me when it comes to me. Yeah. But there's a lot of pieces to work with there. Javon Holland, that's another guy I want to highlight, man. The guy from
great rookie safety year this year.
Exactly. Kid out of Oregon, man. And so, like I said, combo, safety, nickel type player, excellent player. And so the big thing is, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to work with over there. And then you bring in a qualified guy like Vic Fangio, man. His record, his resume speaks for itself. And so that Dolphins defense, which is already a very stout unit. And Brian Flores needs a lot of credit for that as well, because he built up that defense, and they've been playing very good ball for the last 3-4 years now. And that started under Brian Flores, and then this last year took over from whoever the DC was that he just let go of, and now Vic Fangio comes. And so that unit is going to be a unit definitely that's going to be in that they're gonna be a top 10 defense off of rip. With the pieces they got, Vic Fangio coming over, that's gonna be a top 10. We can book that right now. That's gonna be a top 10 defense. Now, how high up in that top 10 is gonna be a question. You still got Xavier Howard, who dealt with some injuries. He's getting a little older, still playing very good ball. You know what I'm saying? So there's tons and tons of pieces over there to work with. So that's an excellent hire. And also one last thing, I'm sorry, but the age dynamic, and so you've got a young head coach in Mike McDaniel, he's the offensive coordinator who runs the team. You know what I'm saying? And a very young guy. He's probably younger or the same age as half that roster. And so now you get a guy in Vic Fangio. Maybe this is Colin Cowherd who mentioned this, but it does make sense. It rings true because now Vic Fangio is going to go over there and the defense is his. Like Mike McDaniels is going to be able to just completely shut the door to the defensive side of the building and let Vic run and do his thing, and it's going to take more. And so now he's just fully immersed and diving in this offense. And then also, like I said, Vic is Vic's OG. You know what I'm saying? Vic been doing this for 40 years, and so now you've got a proven, an established, well tenured coach. He's been a head man as well, and so that's also can be a little bit of mentorship there as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, bouncing ideas or bouncing circumstances off of Vic, who's a guy who's been around for so long, and then also just being fully comfortable that Vic's got it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do nothing but poke my head in there, see what they talk about, man. Just to show my face, Vic got it. And so I like that move all the way around.
For sure. So I'm with you on that, Willie Jack. Definitely with you on that. And I got one more to throw at you, Willie Jack, and it's not a coaching move, man. This is more so of a player, man. And Tom Brady, man.
Oh yeah.
He retires again, man. He retires again. Yeah. Is he for real done this time, dog? Or you think he just don't want to go through training camp again?
Man, you know what? And I thought about that as well. This time I'm kind of leaning more towards retiring, and it's only because when I saw the video and what he said and how he talked about it, he already knows what's up. I think he's aware that, like, man, I'm not trying to Brett Favre this thing. I'm not trying to every year, man, the boys is flying to my house. I'm on the news on Sports Center. You know what I'm saying? Every day, boys are sitting outside my crib waiting to see if I'm coming outside. Because he even says, like, man, look, man, this one ain't going to be no long, drawn out, emotional one. Man, I already did that. You only can use that card once. You know what I'm saying? I already did that when I came back. So, like, you know, this one, man, I'm hanging it up. So, last time, when he retired last time, I don't think either one of us believed that. It's like, okay, nah. Yeah, okay, Tommy. Like, right. You didn't fool anybody, Tom.
We'll see once the season starts.
Exactly, yeah. So this one feels a little different, and especially going out the way he did. They did rally and make the playoffs, and then get absolutely spanked at the crib by Dallas. And so I, you know, maybe this one feels a little different. Maybe at this point, and then also with this comeback season cost him. Now there was obviously already some marital issues or whatever is going on in this house. And then now I'm not going to say nothing, that ain't my business. But what was reported was that the final straw, I guess, in his marriage was him coming back for that last season. You know what I'm saying? It was there was an ultimatum placed there. He tried to walk away. And then he said, man, FTKNW. You know what I'm saying, man? I got ball to play, man. And so, and I say that in jest. I ain't teasing up, making for nobody's situation like that. But that was a big issue. And so, now you come back, you do it, man. When you go all in like that, man, and risk your marriage and the life that you had, and then it's almost like, man, what did I paid my marriage and what did I get back for it? A first round embarrassing exit, you know what I'm saying, and a down year all the way around. And so maybe at this point, maybe he does. I don't know if like I said, I still don't know if maybe the only way I do see him realistically coming back is if the Raiders make it extremely intriguing for him, but it can't be money. And so I don't know if he did come back, it'd be the Raiders, I would think, and Josh McDaniels, because that's like going home almost in a sense. So he's not coming back. He's not trying to learn a new language. He's not trying. The only thing he's got to do is learn the new faces in that place. But he's going to show up and in Las Vegas and know everything about that offense inside and out. The only person going to know that offense better than him is Josh McDaniels, and maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Because how much of that offense did they craft together? And so that'd be the only way I think maybe he did come back with the go, give it one run with the Raiders. But I don't think that's an option because the Raiders don't look teed up for a championship. He's not coming back just to have a good year. He's coming back. Can I get to the bowl with y'all? And I don't think he sees the Raiders as a team he can get to the bowl to. But that would be the place that he would go to if he did come back, is what I would see. But I don't think. I think he's hanging this one up. I do think so.
Got you. And shout out to my wife, man. My wife in the building, man. She said he just wants some attention, man. Mm-hmm. She said she wants that. And she also says, I guess you got it up, Willie. I'm going to go read. She said, so you lost your wife, had a horrible season, and retired anyway. big old dummy.
Hey,
And,
yeah, I mean that's exactly how he's looking at it. Like, man, he risked it all and crapped out. I mean, ain't no
hey,
other way to
let's
look
all
at it,
crack
man.
it out. And
It's
so
all
and so here's my thing on this, Willie Jack, because my opinion may be a little bit unorthodox in terms of this situation, man. As far as my angle on the situation, I definitely think he should retire. First and foremost, don't drag us, man. Don't drag us. Don't keep coming back. Talking about some you retire and then you coming back, man. That gets old. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna talk to you right now, Willie Jack. I ain't gonna keep making it on the news, man. If he keep on playing games, it's gonna be
yeah.
like another day in the office. Like, yeah,
Oh yeah,
whatever.
if they start going back and forth, like, yeah, nah,
Yeah,
we just
that's whatever, man. We ain't got time for it. You know what I'm saying? This it
yeah.
for you, Tom Brady. If you gonna retire, retire, man. This is all you getting from let the film speak, my brother. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but on the other note, what I was gonna say was first and foremost, man, life is a whole lot bigger than football, Tom
Mhm.
Brady. You know what I'm saying? And it's certain guys that you see in sports, and just talking about in sports in general, or when you're talking about success in general, you know what I mean? It's they have a certain mindset, they have a certain will to win, and they don't take no for an answer. And Tom Brady's that type of guy. You know, even to the point where you seen on the field when they weren't playing bad, he was a terrible teammate. Terrible, terrible, terrible teammate all year long this year for them. You know what I mean? Just throwing fits and doing all those different things that he was doing, you know, and he was the one mainly that was playing bad, you know, worse than a lot of those guys. Now, am I saying everybody else on that team was perfect? No. But life is bigger than football in the sense where, hey man, get away from football. You did more than enough, man. You gave everybody more than enough. You played 20 some years. You know what I mean? You won 7 Super Bowls. You know, you got some MVPs. You know, you are considered the GOAT. There's no more you have to prove to any of us. Go get your family, bro. At the end of the day, go get your family. Go ride off into the sunset, man, and figure something else out, man. Figure out some other
Mhm.
hobbies. Don't make football your life, man. That's just it for me. And I honestly, I worry about cats like that, man. I worry about I worry about the life after football because it's for guys like that. Football is all they have. You know what I mean? So once football is over, then what? They don't know what to do with themselves. Go live life, Tom Brady. That's my angle on this one. Is go live your life, man. Go do your thing. You got plenty of family. Go spend a whole bunch of time with your kids, man. Go do all those different things, man. All that. Live life and make life enjoyable for the people around you and your family and the people you love. So that's my thing on Tom Brady, man. Go ahead and retire, man. Go on, stay out, man.
No, I got you. And then, man, I want to get your thoughts on a take, man. And it was, man, I was gonna try to find it real quick. I saw it on, I think I was on Instagram, and it was like a clip of reel, and so they were discussing the legacy of Tom Brady. And man, the guy, and man, I'm sorry I can't think of your name, bro. I try to find, matter of fact, I'm gonna find the clip to post it to the group and post it in the group. Matter of fact, but he was discussing the legacy of Tom Brady, and so and everything he said for me hit right on the head, and it matches up with some of the things that I've said, specifically when he talked about him and Peyton Manning, and then him versus Joe Montana. And so this guy, man, I'm sorry I ain't got your name, bro, but shout out to you. But he said, look, man, Tom Brady's the GOAT, yes. You know what I'm saying? Because his longevity and the accumulated accolades is going to tell us that. But he was like, he said there's a difference though. Like, he's the GOAT without having been the greatest, let's say, regular season quarterback. That guy's Peyton Manning. And he's the greatest, he's the greatest without having even been the greatest Super Bowl quarterback, because he feels that's Joe Montana. And
Okay.
so he's not the greatest. If you said, okay, regular season quarterback, the greatest all time, my answer for that is always as well Peyton Manning. And people differentiate regular season, not whatever. If I pick one quarterback for me, I'm picking Peyton. I'm picking the sheriff. I'm picking the guy who changed football. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy. That's the guy I'm picking. And
Right.
so and then he also said, and then if you're talking championship quarterback play, then that guy's Joe Montana. Now, like I said, now I'm a little young for Joe. You know what I'm saying? I know those stories. I don't know those games. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, and then what's interesting about that is it firmly put me in the mind, and this is off topic a little bit, but LeBron. My thoughts on LeBron fit that exactly, because this guy was saying, like, look, he's going to set all the records because he's playing longer than anybody else. Now
Exactly.
that is an accomplishment, but like I said, stat accrual doesn't necessarily like imbue all time greatness. Like he played the longest he set those records. Like that's commendable, but I'm not taking him over Peyton. And like I said, like LeBron's about to break the total points record in the league. He's still not MJ. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, you know what I'm saying? And so I just thought that was funny when I hear that because he's got more rings than Joe, but Joe wasn't 4-0. And Joe did it in such dominating fashion for most of those as well, like spanking boys. And then yeah, man, just the thing on Peyton. So it was just an interesting take that somebody had, man. I'm gonna post it in the group because I'm paraphrasing as well, but I think he explained it excellently. And then as soon as I heard it, I was like, man, yeah, he hit the nail right on the head. I agree with everything he said. And then it made me think of LeBron and MJ because that, like I said, that record's coming. And LeBron will get it, and you know what I mean? But that's coming, and it made me think of that.
Yeah, it's arguable, and I completely understand where that guy probably was coming from when he said it. You know what I'm saying? So that's an interesting take. That's something to think about, man, and gives you a perspective to put things in terms of when you're talking about GOATs and best players and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I get that, man. Yeah. I definitely get that.
And we got a couple more of the members that fell through, man. My auntie in here, man. She in there cheering on Chop. The first thing you're gonna do when you get here, auntie, is cheer on my partner.
Hey man, what you should do is be happy about it. You know what I'm saying? Happy you got a partner. You know what I'm saying? They can rock with you like that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Mom. You know what I'm saying?
That's my Aunt Shireen.
I'm sorry. I appreciate you, Auntie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my brother. So if that's your auntie, that's my auntie.
Hey,
too,
already. I know right.
So I appreciate you for coming in, man. Sometimes Willie Jack don't appreciate me, man. He got
come on, y'all know better than that. Then we got another one of the members in here, man. Bojo in the building, man. He said, "What's happening, man? What's going on with you, big dog? Appreciate you coming back through." And then, yeah, they in there talking, man. LeBron, I mean, I see the LeBron's a touchy subject, man. Like I said, man, I know I should. It's dangerous mentioning LeBron because I don't want to start that argument in the chat, man. That gets deep, man. That LeBron and MJ goes.
Hey, man, whatever, man. It's MJ over LeBron all day, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey,
anyway, Willie Jack, I need you to go ahead, man, and talk to him, man. We about to get ready to jump into these games. But before we jump into these games, man, while we got y'all in here, look, Willie Jack is about to give y'all some crucial information right here. Yeah. So I need y'all to pay attention and I need y'all to follow. It's like Simon says, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
If I'm saying Simon says right now, and whatever Willie Jack tell you, that's what Simon said. Willie Jack,
look, Let the Film Speak says that today's episode is brought to you by the sponsorship, man. Come on, man. Y'all start playing, man. The sponsorship, man. Shout out to them 3 amigos, man. That's like that, share, to subscribe, man. Y'all know what's going on. It's 3 sponsors, but it's a 4-part process, big dog. First, you just got to tap in, man. When you come to my crib, man, speak. You know what I'm saying? Just don't just walk in and go sit down. Man, speak. Hey, man. Hey, Chop, man, what's going on with you, big dog? Hey, Willie, man, what's up, man? Just holler at just tap in with the dogs, man. That's like, share, subscribe. Then you got to tell a friend, man. That's step number 2. Like, share, subscribe, man. Be respectful. Tap in with the 3 amigos. Tell a friend. Then tell your friend to tell a friend. Okay, but don't stop there. Because then you got to tell your friend's friend to bring one more because we need 4, man. Bring them all down here to let the field be. Come kick it with your dogs in the penthouse. We up top now. Y'all see what's going on. Chop got video clips and different stuff is flying and whizzing in. We got an intro. So, man, we got all type of stuff. You see what's going on in the penthouse, man. We came up the long way, man. And so y'all right here with us. We appreciate that. Tap it with the 3 amigos, man. Tell a friend, tell your friend, tell a friend, tell your friend's friend to bring a friend. Because like I said, we need 1 more because we need 4. Y'all come in here and kick it with your dogs, man. Now, back to the regularly scheduled program. Let's get it.
All right, man. The moment we all been waiting for, man. This is the reason we had it. We had to come over here and touch base on this show, man. Of course, we had the news, we had the announcements, we told y'all everything that was going on. But now it's time to jump into these games, man. We had the conference championship games this past weekend on Sunday. We had the 4 best teams, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Willie Jack agrees. Mm-hmm. We had the 4 best teams left, and now we got the 2 Super Bowl teams. We know who's going to the Super Bowl. But the first game we got to jump into, we got to talk about their 49ers and Eagles, man. And the Eagles, the Bullies prevail, man. They win this game 31-7, man. The Bullies prevail. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into this one first, if you don't mind, Willie Jack. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this one, man. First and foremost, it's sad that we didn't get to see the 49ers at full strength this entire game. Not that they had a ton of injuries, but they had key injuries. Of course, we all know Brock Purdy with the injury during the first drive of the game. You know what I'm saying? That had a huge effect. But that the reason he had the injury, I can't take away from that as well, is because of Hassan Reddick, man. Hassan Reddick came in and said, you know what, I'm about to end this game, you know, the first drive of the game. And he essentially did that. When he had to hit on Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy ended up being out for the rest of the game, that changed the trajectory of the game. Things started to go downhill from there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think the 49ers would have won this game either way, just by the way everything played out. But because Purdy got knocked out, they couldn't sustain a drive, man. They couldn't sustain a drive except for the one touchdown drive that Christian McCaffrey finished off. Okay. And 49ers, they tried to ride Christian McCaffrey and stay in the game, but it was only so much that he could do. You know, it was only so much that one guy can do in terms of that. And then the Eagles pretty much took everybody at the game except for C-Mac. Debo, man, what was it? 6 carries for -9 yards. You know what I mean? Debo don't usually have stat games like that. You know what I'm saying? So they took him out of the game. You know, and then I don't think anybody in their passing game had over 33 yards receiving. Now, of course, a lot of that has to do with the injuries because not only did Brock Purdy get out, Josh Johnson left the game early in the third quarter with an injury as well. So that means it's one quarterback left, and that's the quarterback that got hurt earlier, and that's Brock Purdy. He came back into the game and couldn't throw. You know, he couldn't throw, so that limited the 49ers offense. And like I said before, man, they couldn't do nothing. And then off of that, the Eagles just continued to wear the 49ers down. You know, because they couldn't sustain the drive, that means the 49ers defense was out there a lot longer. Because being honest, the 49ers defense didn't look bad. You know, what they did to Jalen Hurts, I respected it. And I watched it. I was like, okay, this is very impressive. Every time Jalen Hurts tried to scramble, left, right, didn't matter where you go. That defensive line played sound football, and that was the football I love to see because there wasn't no big gains out of the backfield from Jalen Hurts like he usually is. He's usually able to find a hole or a lane that opens up when he's dropping back to pass, or they might have a scheduled run, and he's able to find that lane and hit it. You know, but he wasn't able to do that. Every time he was scrambling, it was just strictly east and west, and we had to go out of bounds. We had to throw the ball away. That was what Jalen Hurts had to do this entire game. So that defense did play well, but when you out there for almost a quarter longer, because the time of possession was about a 15-minute difference. So when you out there for an entire quarter longer than the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, eventually it wears on you, especially when you got those 5 hogs up front.
Oh, yeah.
Single play. You know what I'm saying? That's a different ball game, and you got to try to get off those blocks all game, man. I don't think anybody will be able to do that. So it's a tall task after that happened earlier in the game. It made things so much harder for the 49ers, and the Eagles, they just roll on, man. They continue to be bullies, and they roll on, and they on their way to the Super Bowl, Willie Jack.
No, for sure, man. And just like you said, man, we both had the Eagles in this one. And just like you said, man, you summed it up perfectly. We definitely both had the Eagles in this game, man. Let me put the Fly Eagles fly up, man, for the Eagles fans in the building, man. I know our dog Day One Gang Jabril in the building, man. He's a big Eagles fan. Man, our dog Jeff Walker, man. Jeff, I don't know if you met in here yet, man, but he's another Eagles fan for sure, man. And so yeah, man. So they get it done. But it's just like you said, like I do feel like the Eagles were the better team, and that's the reason I picked them to be victorious in this game. Now we didn't see the Niners at full strength, but I'm not gonna lie. The way that game started, like I don't think Brock Purdy finishing that game is a victory for the Niners. Now the Niners deep, that's what's always tricky, man, because in hindsight and you play the what if game, but for the half a quarter that we had Brock Purdy in there, it was ugly. Like I said, I mean they couldn't do anything with Hassan Riddick, and it was a little bit of that was scheme. They tried to block with a tight end. So the first two sacks, the first 2 pressures came off beating the backup tight end, not even George Kittle. He was going around the other tackle, you know what I mean, or the other tight end, and teeing off on Purdy. And then, like I said, man, the hit that ends it all, that ends his day, and then turns out to be the play that ends their chance to be competitive in that game. Essentially, the injury to Brock Purdy, man, and so and then you get Josh Johnson coming in. He's been there for. He came over mid-season or something like that, but yeah, he's been there for a little while. A guy that's well traveled. I think he's been at a couple of the other stops under Kyle Shanahan as well. So there was a little bit of familiarity there, but just couldn't get it going. And so there was issues with the snap count, issues getting to play, in all the whole short time that he was in there. And then of course he goes down, takes a big shot, and goes out, lose that game with a concussion. And so, just like Chop said, man, there's nobody left. The next emergency quarterback was C-Mac. It's what the announcement was saying. He was between C-Mac and Debo.
And I heard something where he was on the sideline, and they showed him the play sheet, and he was looking at it like, "What you want me to do with this?"
Hey, they had him trying on the helmet with the mic in.
Man.
I'm telling you. I wanted to see C-Mac at QB so bad. If y'all was in the chat, man, I was in the chat like, man, go ahead, put C-Mac in, let him spin, Kyle Shanahan. Come on, man. And the boy can pass. Ain't nothing that C-Mac can't do, man. I wanted it so bad, Chop. Like, go ahead, just go ahead and turn it over to my dog, man. Go ahead, let's C-Mac rock. It wasn't gonna be no worse. I'll tell you that right now.
No,
it wasn't gonna be no worse. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, man. So that didn't come to fruition. Monty said it wasn't nothing they could do with Jalen Hurts. We're gonna slow down that. They was getting after Hurts pretty good, but then I think after a while, man, they wore down. And like I said, man, that dam has to come down at some time. You know what I mean? Like it's only so much you can withstand before that tide comes rolling in. They made it hard on Jalen, especially in the earlier parts in the first 2.5 quarters of that game specifically. Sure. They definitely did. And then then I got what I wanted, man. I wanted to see a heavyweight fight in those trenches, man. And Lane Johnson and Nick Bosa did not disappoint. Lane Johnson was out there putting in real work on Nick Bosa, man. I'm talking about mano, stonewalling in the chest. Nah, where you going? No, you ain't. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Lane was out there working, boy. Lane was out there getting busy. You know what I'm saying? And then to Nick Bosa's credit as well, man, Nick Bosa is relentless. You know what I'm saying? So never not at 100 miles an hour. I'm not taking none of these rushes off. Like it was some really good trench play, man, and just all the way around. And then, but like we said, man, those hogs up front, boy. Yeah, them hogs up front. We've been saying it, man, for weeks now, man. They get them five, bro. They get to moving furniture around there, boy, and ain't nothing you can do. After a while, man, just ain't nothing you can do. But they get to moving that furniture around. And the thing about furniture, it's heavy, but it don't fight. It's heavy, but it go where you put it. You know what I'm saying? If you can move,
there you go, and it's gonna stay there.
It's gonna stay there. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter how heavy your couch is, you get the right ones grabbing it, boy. You can put it where you want to, and that's what the Eagles O-line gets to doing, man. And so, and they did it against. Man, we seen them do it all year long, man, and it didn't stop in this one. And so, man, got to see everything we wanted to see there. But no, man, as far as the game, man, like you said, is you already hit that perfectly, man. Just man, the Niners had to play that game 10-11. And like I said, there's only so much you could do when you're playing like that. That just like my dog Chop said, that defense played an overtime game. You know what I'm saying? They had a whole other
quarters. They played five quarters.
That defense went to overtime, man. And so the score may be a little misleading. They played damn good in that game. 31, which sounds crazy. That's what we say, let the film speak. Because 31-7, you got spanked and you gave up 30 points. Like, I get all that. I dig it. That defense didn't roll over. That defense played damn good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like,
let's see what any of these other defenses do going against a running back at quarterback, like somebody that can't throw the ball at all. Let's see what happens that game.
No, they tried to be as creative as they can. Like I said, we saw all the jet motion sweeps to Debo, just trying to see if he could break one, just get anything going at all, man, because we couldn't throw the ball. They let him throw like a little quick screen pass. I think it was the only pass he attempted once he came back in with the injury. And so, I mean, like it was 10-11, man. It really was. And not only 10-11, but 10-11 in the biggest game of the year against the best team in the league. It's just not too much you could do with that. You know what I'm saying? So you stuck. And so who was it I want to shout out, man? I lost it. I was finna shout somebody else out in that game. Oh, I lost whatever I was finna say, but let me say this, man. Y'all gonna put some respect on my dog C-Mac name, man. Because this is the guy. That touchdown run that he made, phenomenal, broke 4 tackles, you know what I'm saying? Ran through somebody, got it out somebody's chest for one. You know what I'm saying? And then still had the wheels to extend it and finish it out, man. And like I said, man, just all the things that he's been doing this whole time, man. But this is a guy, this game was a microcosm. This is one of the games that was a microcosm of why I feel the way I do about C-Mac when I call him the best in the building. There's just, I don't see what he can't do. I just don't see anything on the field he can get it if he wants to. You know what I'm saying? What he wants on the field, he can get it, man. He's just a super talented guy, man. So I'm happy to see. I'm not happy that he lost like that, but I'm happy to see this moving with the Niners, man. Really, really worked out and really showcased what he is, man. The type of talent he is, and so I can't wait to see them come back next year now with between Brock and Trey Lance, how that plays out, etc. And see how that goes. But I tell you one thing, man. Like I said, the Warriors will be back. Believe that they're not going anywhere at all. So the Warriors will be back.
And on top of that too, Willie, Jack, before you go to the next one, say that one, save it, don't forget it. But the fact that we finally get to see Christian McCaffrey playing in some meaningful games. You know what I'm saying? Not carrying the load for a team that not in the playoffs. No, he's getting a chance to make an impact on a team that had a legit chance to very well play in the Super Bowl, you know, and compete for an NFC championship. So that's another part of that too, like that we get a chance to see, because oftentimes we see these great players, they end up, dying figuratively, not necessarily really,
Not
but
much
like
mean, yeah.
against with the on these rough teams, and never getting a true opportunity to shine,
Andre
so
Johnson,
your Andre Johnsons, your
AJ
guys,
Green.
scary Terrys, your AJ Greens, your
Mhm.
guys like that are on these teams where it's like, dang man, what's up? What I mean, they don't really get an opportunity to shine the way that they truly should be able to on these rough teams. D Hop until he went to Arizona,
There you go.
so
Yeah.
it's a lot of guys out there like that, but it's always good to see a guy like that compete, for a team that actually, is competing for something, So, but when you think you would say
No,
something,
and then that was the thing I was gonna say as well, man. Just talk about that Brock Purdy injury. And so it came out, man. It's an injury to the UCL ligament in his throwing elbow, and that's exactly the same injury that Josh Allen had mid-season. That really told the tale of Josh Allen's season can almost be split in half from pre-elbow injury and after the elbow injury, and we see how painful that injury was in the biggest game of his career. Brock Purdy, a 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant, the very last guy picked in that game. If there was any way he could have, I've seen that. I think it was Reggie Bush, man, that came out and called out Brock Purdy for not toughing it out, man. And big, like, come on, man, that's ignorance, man. Like he doesn't. If anybody's gonna play, man, they could have cut that arm off. If there was a way for him to play with that arm cut off, he'd play. This is the last pick of the draft, a guy that went the long way, that found borderline stardom. You know what I'm saying, in this league. And so there's nobody that would have been more motivated to play
for
if
sure,
he was able to play than Brock Purdy.
He was a guy that he knows that it was an opportunity for him, or it was a possibility for him to have to be fighting for a spot on a roster, at some point before he had this opportunity. So yeah, I'm with you on that, Willie Jack.
Yeah, exactly, man. I can't believe Reggie said that, man. Especially Reggie, who got banged up pretty good and had to sue the league for an injury when he was with the Dolphins and ended up winning that suit. I mean, so he knows what's going on with injuries, man, and he should know better. So shame on you, Reggie Bush. Come on, bro. You got to know better than that, man. If there was any way that man could have played, he'd play. And then also the fact that coming back in that game and even coming back out there and suiting up and risking further additional injury to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's even commendable that he even went back on the field out there defenseless. You know what I'm saying? It gets bumped to hit again. Or somebody grabs him, slings him to the ground again. Man, we don't know what the hell could have happened. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I wanted to shout that out. And then also, like I said, man, that's the exact injury that Josh Allen was dealing with as well this season. And we see the effect it had on Josh Allen the second half of his season as well. And so, like I said, man, if he could have played, he would have played, man. So I wanted to see that. When I seen that for Reggie, I was like, come on, Reggie, I can't believe you did that, dog. Come on,
man. You gotta do better, brother.
Yeah.
You gotta do better.
For sure.
All right, Willie Jack. Well, hey, we got one more game, man. We got one more game. Mm-hmm. We had the Cincinnati Bengals go to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, man. And the Chiefs end up coming away with the W in this game, man. They won this with 23-20. I'm pretty sure all y'all seen this game, man. It was a thriller. Came down to last second field goal. Willie Jack, give me your take on this one, man. I'm interested to see where you fall on this one, because I feel like watching this game, man, you could have feel a lot of different ways on this game in terms of why it turned out the way that it turned out. But I'm interested to hear what you're saying, what you got to say, Willie Jack. What's up with this one, man?
Yeah, no, and for sure. And this is the thing about this, man. It's like this game reminded me. I was looking for. I was like, hold on, man. Where's Chop? Where's our summer? There we go. I was looking for. There you go, big dog. And so, but honestly, man, this game for me, I feel a lot like I felt about last year's Super Bowl with the Rams and Bengals. I'm not doubting that the Chiefs could have and would have won that game, but I just hate that they did it with the question marks. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing about it. Like, I hate that it is a little, it's not clean. It's a little stained or asterisk, whatever you want to call it. But there's just a little something there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it takes away from a phenomenal job that the Chiefs did in this game. The Chiefs, for one, and this is the reason I changed my pick from the Bengals to the Chiefs. Well, and even in that, because they were definitely motivated by all the bulletin board material provided by the Bengals.
They was motivated for sure.
For sure. Burrowhead Stadium is Buddy Patty's daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they really took that stuff to heart. Like, everybody from the Chiefs who was in front of a microphone made sure they let Cincinnati and everybody know what's going on. Like, hey, y'all don't come in here talking crazy. Like, who are y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was on everybody's mind. And so
And I was gonna say while we had it too, Willie Jack, I was gonna play a little bit of it, a couple of the clips. Well, one of the clips,
Go ahead.
where they really was letting people know, like, hey man, we heard everything that was going on. You know,
my
what I'm saying?
dog, man, go roll that beautiful beam footage, then, bro. Go ahead, let's do it.
let me go, share it for y'all, man. Let me go and share it.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I just want to thank God, man. Burrow hit my ass. Woo! It's Mahomes' house. Hey, first off, like I said, I want to thank God, man. He healed my body this week. To battle through that, he gave me the strength to be out here. But I just with this team, man. We played together. I said it from the beginning. When we were in the locker room, I said we got to be together. And this team stepped up against a great football team, and we showed this place.
And y'all heard him, man. He said they showed him, man. It was Arrowhead and not Burrowhead.
Exactly. So they really it's just kind of like I was saying, man. Like you don't poke the bear, man. You know what I'm saying? You just don't poke the bear and going to the bear's house, man, and poking them like that. And so, but all that still gets a little. It gets a little tainted. It gets a little sideways because of a lot of what's being deemed now is. Depending on now, if you're wearing red and white, man, you don't want to hear none of this. I get it. But for all the rest of us, there's more than a few instances in this game to make you raise an eyebrow. You know what I'm saying? It just really does. Hey, there you go. Boom. The little rock side. I was almost going to try it, but I haven't been able to do it for 30 years. So I didn't even want to be out here. You know what I mean? It's my dog.
I got you, bro.
I could have did the rock side and did it right there. And then boom, my dog. And so, yeah, man, it's definitely a couple eyebrow-raising moments, man. And so, and I don't know how deep you want to get into it, man, but the do-over third down, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, that's the one that really gets to me because how hard did we try to stop that play? In such a critical moment of that game, you know what I'm saying? And then Cincinnati gets the stop, and then the punt teams, both teams' punt teams are coming onto the field or on the field, and then – hey, matter of fact, run that one back. Yeah, man. Put 2 more seconds on the clock. Do it again. Man, come on, dog. The play's played. Adjust the time now if you need to. Or I don't know, man. I don't know because I just don't. I hated that one. I really did. And then now if you want to argue the very, I guess, last play or the last 2 plays of the game would turn out to be the game-winning drive as well. A block in the back on the punt return, a huge punt return with a block in the back that doesn't get called, and then the following play, the Patty Mahomes scramble play up the right sideline. Joseph Asai, who I really feel for. I've been Joseph Asai, and I can tell you when I chase somebody for 30 yards, dog, he's getting hit. You know what I'm saying? If your shadow's on the line like it was with Patty, I'm hitting you too. I've hit guys like that because I had to run to get here, bro. And on defense, bro, well, especially in them trips, somebody got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to pay. I'd have ran 40 yards, bro. Hey, somebody got to cash me out. I need mine. And so I get it. You run that hard, you run that, and then not pull up, or pull up or not pull up. And there's steals taken. Some steals taken show that he's already 2 steps out, but he got pushed. Like, nah, it was right on the line, but it was close enough still to where you've got to know better. And so you get that flag. I'm not mad at that one, though, honestly. Like I said, I'm not mad at that one. The do-over, I didn't like the pass interference call on Mike Hilton for he's diving with the left hand, so the right hand is
that one I didn't like. That's the one I didn't.
You got to pull a Turner because we saw it and we saw a call similar to that earlier, but we saw MVS got like pulled and spun around like you've got. Cause what's he gonna do with this arm? He's diving with the left to go around the guy to get it. What's this arm gonna do? He can't take it off. And so it's out there, but it didn't impact the receiver, it didn't impact the play. So it felt ticky-tacky, it felt a little washed, or it felt a little if that one smelled of a little home cooking as well, man. I hate that call because then that's another play that it should be 4th down, and Cincinnati's getting that ball back. But instead now it's an automatic 1st down. And so there was some stuff like that going on, man. And it's not to say that calls weren't missed, like I said, for the Chiefs as well. And because it was, you know what I'm saying, and whatever, we can get into that, but. Well, you won and you moved on. So, man, we ain't worried about what went wrong for you when you got it done. You going to the dance. But like I said, man, it almost felt that just all the bad breaks fell for Cincinnati. That's how I'll put it. Because there's going to be bad calls. There's going to be bad breaks in the game, but you at least wanted to be a little more balanced. It felt like every critical moment, every critical penalty, every critical no call went against the Bengals, and that's what kind of sticks or hurts if you're a Bengals fan or a team that was cheering for the Bengals. But then on the other side of that, what I didn't want what is kind of getting lost in the sauce as well is Chris Jones and that defense showed up. Chris Jones was kind of like he's been all year, man amongst boys in the for all the I guess the panache or all the extra mojo and juice that week and injury riddled and makeshift offensive line of the Bengals, as well as they played in Buffalo, they reverted back to form. And this is what this is one of the things we say on this show a lot. The cream gonna rise to the top, man. You know what I'm saying? The cream gonna rise to the top. And so it's only so long fake thugs could pretend, man. All of those things that we say on here, man, because like I said, like they played above level last week against the Bills, but like I say, that's not where they at. And then we saw Cincinnati Kansas City brought them back down to earth. It showed them and brought them back to who you really are. Like, no. We ain't going for none of that. 2, 3 dudes don't matter. Get out of my way. I'm Chris Jones. I'm getting this. I'm getting mine. 2 sacks in this game. Huge ones as well. And so they couldn't do nothing with him. To the Bengals' credit, they adjusted. Man, somebody else said this as well. I don't know. No, not Brian McFadden, but somebody else. I can't think of the guy on one of the ESPN shows now with Mike Greenberg. I don't think he was a quarterback. He might have been a former quarterback. Anyway, where somebody said like Patrick Mahomes is the best player in this league, but that Joe Burrow might be the best at playing quarterback. Like just the best pure quarterback may be Joe Burrow, but that's not taking away that Patrick Mahomes is the best player in this league. And like it's a weird statement. It's a weird thing to get your head around, but when I feel like I understand where he's going with that because like I said, man, Joe didn't lay that. This game is 2023, and then a 15-yard late hit penalty makes it a 47 or 49-yard field goal instead of what would have been closer to like a 55 or 57-yard field goal.
And best believe that those yards matter because he barely made that.
Exactly. And in those conditions where it's freezing cold, like they say it was one of those things where they tell you it's 19 degrees, but it feels like 6. It's 6 degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think his long in the warm-up, they said his range that day was like 52 yards. And so the field goal without that penalty is going to be outside of that or just outside of that or right there that mix. But it definitely, that game most likely goes to overtime without that penalty. It's how it was shaping up and how it was looking. And then I'm not going to lie. As even with the 2 turnovers, the 2 interceptions, now one of them being a tip pass that got picked off that second one. And so, but it is what it is. Even with those 2 turnovers, that game goes to overtime. I don't think anybody had to doubt the Bengals winning that game or outside of Kansas City or anybody that considers themselves a part of Chiefs Nation. But I honestly, I don't know. I didn't feel too safe at all. Even when Joe got that ball back 2 minutes, and I think I had even said something about it in the chat. Y'all get a ball back to Joe Burrow with 2 minutes, 2 timeouts, and a 2-minute like in that lineup.
If it wasn't for Chris Jones,
if it wasn't for Chris Jones, I don't know. Because like I said, it was either Joe Dyson boys up or Chris Jones in Joe Burrow's face. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to Mr. Chris Jones. I gave him a nickname too. That's Mr. Chris Jones. That's a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Like because man, I'm talking about man disrespecting double teams. It was like you could beat it up. No, he was disrespecting double teams. Like, man, y'all get out the way, man. Bow. What's up, Joe? I'll be back. Get off me, boy. Man, get up. Touch me, boy. Bow. Like disrespecting double teams. They couldn't do nothing with him. You know what I'm saying? That's Mr. Chris Jones, man. But all in all, man, it still was a very good game, very tough, competitive game. I don't hold any. I can't take anything away from Joe in this game, in this loss. He's still one of the ones. And when we say that, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He threw 2 turnovers in this game. Yeah, it's true. But he was, Joe was there. Joe didn't lose this game. 2 turnovers and I don't feel like Joe lost this game. Like they got beat, but I don't think Joe lost the game. You know what I'm saying? Even with those turnovers. Like I said, I just think he couldn't. I mean, they had to protect him, man. You couldn't protect him. If he has time, he was dicing them boys up. So can't take anything away from Joe in this loss. And then even if you're the Chiefs, man, because I know there was people talking about the Chiefs finally exercised that demon and they finally got over the Joe Burrow hump. Did you? I don't know. I don't know if this is the way I want to consider them getting over that Joe Burrow hump. Like I said, because of the things I said before, like, man, this one, there's a couple eyebrow raising moments. And so now the Chiefs, I think, again, still got to go back and run that fade to still make sure it wasn't no doubt. It's like Mayweather and Maidana. He won the first one, But boys looked at it sideways like, yeah, you won, but did you? And then Floyd had to run it back with Marcus McDonald again, man, and then really watch him in the second one so that we know the first one was real. And so yeah, I think the Chiefs, man, you move on. We got the Kelsey Bowl coming, but I'm slowing down the talk on they got that Joe Burrow problem solved. I don't think so. That not at all. They're going to have to run that one back.
Yeah. So that part, Willie Jack, I actually agree with. I agree with you on that one because I feel like, and I've said this before on this show, I'm a firm believer in the football gods, a firm believer. So for me, I feel like that if it wasn't for the mayor and everybody else putting that out there and pretty much setting the Bengals up for failure, in my opinion, I think the Bengals go in your house and you win that one too. You know what I mean? It took for Joe Burrow to have a rough game. It took for a few calls to go your way, and it also took a penalty in the last play of the game to set you up to win this game. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I came out of this game feeling like Bengals were really the better team, but just played the worst game. And to me, Burrow did have a rough game. I think the offense did lose this game because in the second half, the defense gave the Bengals and the Chiefs offense too gave the Bengals chance after chance after chance. Even going back to and I think they scored on this one, but even going back to the play where Patrick Mahomes just dropped the ball, you know what I'm saying, on the snap, shotgun, and Bengals recovered that one. They gave them a chance there, and then they continue to stop them time and time again. But the Bengals offense just couldn't get anything going. Now, of course, a lot of that had to do with the offensive line problems, but at the same time, Burrow did have a couple turnovers. Burrow did, make a few mistakes and that cost him in this particular game. But going back into the beginning of the game, I start there. I go back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. So the way KC came out getting pressure on the Bengals, man, it looked like this game was about to get real ugly. This was a 13-3 game at one point in terms of, the Chiefs getting out in front. And then on top of that, I saw Patrick Mahomes immediately being used and using his legs and his feet. And I saw Andy Reid say, you know what? We're gonna continue to do that. And he was moving left to right and making throws. And then I saw a couple of those throws in the game where he bought time, and threw a dime to Kelsey in the end zone for the first touchdown. I was like, okay, we getting real Pat Mahomes this game, And then for that second touchdown, he threw on the money like a 20-yard dart to I forgot who it was, Valdez Scantling, I believe.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
It's Pat Mahomes is real. He in this bag. You know what I mean? So those were some throws that made me feel like I think my son just fell. My bad.
Hey, you all right, man? Shake it off, big dog. You got it.
Hey, man, he upstairs. I ain't worried about him. He should have been sitting down anyway. It's his bed. But anyway,
hey, you should have been sitting down anyway, Nev. For sure.
But those are some of the throws that made me feel like, okay, this game could be real, real ugly. And then I saw those mistakes by Burrow. I'm like, all right, come on, Burrow, you better get it together. You know what I mean? Because of course, like I said, I picked the Bengals in this game anyway. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, they found their ways back in the game. And like you said, Willie Jack, I felt the same way you felt. It's under 3 minutes left. Burrow got the ball, and I was like, okay, Chiefs still got it because when they got the 3rd and 16, but yet he completes the 3rd and 16 to Hayden Hurst down the right sideline, and I said,
it's Joe Beasley. I was like, Joe said he ain't going. Like,
Chiefs,
exactly.
This gonna be real disrespectful if the Bengals come in your house after it's already saying Burrow your daddy, and this is Burrowhead Stadium, and they come in and win like this.
Man,
yeah, that's gonna get real ugly for y'all, and it's gonna be real disrespectful. Ain't no coming back. Willie already told you that they was in the house, and not only was they chilling on your couch, but they told you to scoot over. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you in your own crib in the basement and you got your special spot, like any seat is good except for my seat. You can't sit in my seat. No, they came in. They was like, no, that's my seat when I'm in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all those different things were taking place in this particular game. And I just felt I went away from this game feeling like you, Willie Jack. I felt like, yes, the Chiefs won. And I think that the Bengals lost this game because of the bad play on offense and the mistakes that they were making, and they couldn't capitalize. And I guess I want to give credit to the Chiefs defense too, because not only was they getting pressure, they made sure they was double teaming T. Higgins and Chase downfield all game long. They made sure that the Bengals didn't get any big plays. Now they did have a couple because the athletes just better. You know, T. Higgins went up over top. He's 6'5". You know, what I mean, you ain't got no corners that can do that. Then you hit Joe Burrow. I mean, you hit Jamar Chase on a deep pass in double coverage. I mean, you got to talk about backbreakers. He's just dogs.
Dog. Yeah, and I'm glad you called that out, bro. That was a fourth and was that like on 4th and 8?
4th and 6.
4th and 6, and it wasn't like prime field position. It was like on their own 35. You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all understand? That's exactly it. When you got one of them ones, don't that matter. You got one of the ones, don't matter. 4th and 6 on 35, and it was still early in the game. This is like the beginning of the third quarter, like top of the third or middle of the third quarter. Because I remember watching the play, me and my dog, and I was like, damn, man, it's a little aggressive. Man, I was like, man, it's 10 minutes left in the third, or at least 8 minutes left in the third quarter, 4th and 6. You're on 30. Like, do we got to press right now? Didn't matter. I'm taking my guy. I'm going up top. And you know what I'm saying? And then he threw the one of the ones as well because it's 2 of y'all here. Don't matter. I'm going to the 5th floor. I'm leaving boys in the 3rd.
I've been doing this against y'all anyway. Y'all should get used to this. You know I'm going up, and y'all gonna stay down there, man. I got this, man. I got the key to these elevators.
Exactly. And so that's man. And I think matter of fact, now that I remember it, like I was in the man and Joe out there letting them onions hang, boy. Letting them onions hang. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about nothing. I'm Joe Beasley, boy. I'm going up top. I'm going up top to my guy. You know what I'm saying? Do something about it. That's where we going. 2 of y'all there. I see both of you. Don't matter. Dime. Go do something. You know what I'm saying? So, and then credit to Patty. The next drive, they had a big 4th down conversion. Almost answered that touchdown. That touchdown was a 4th down conversion play. And so I'm like, I loved it. Because I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I tell y'all, man. I'm not gonna say Justin Herbert's name. All right, I said it. This is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? When we got one-on-ones, man, we decide we need an answer. Man, we got a guy that go out there and get it. We ain't worried about none of the other stuff. Doesn't matter. Okay, 4th down, and because the Chiefs was in the same similar situation, right around midfield, 35, 40-yard line, 4th down. No. I think they may have been a little deeper, but the point is, give it to our guy. Our guys gonna get it done. We got one-on-ones, and they both answered that bell, man. So that's what we talked about, like a heavyweight fight, man. I want to see Holyfield give it to Lewis. I want to see Lennox Lewis give it right back to Holyfield, man. That's what we got. So, man, I loved it, man. And, one more thing that I was going to say, because you kicked off, you brought it up. It reminded me, missed opportunities for Kansas City to start that game. Those 2 field goals definitely should have been touchdowns. And this game almost could have been put away. The way the game changes, the way it plays out, etc. We know, but they had an opportunity to really put their foot on the Bengals' necks. From out the gate, run right up and down the field the first 2 possessions, and you come away with 6 points instead of 14. And then that's what I was saying. That it just as the game was unfolding, I'm sitting there like, man, and the Bengals had got that 3, so it's 3-13. I'm like, man, look, Bengals get a touchdown. They in the mix, like it was just a huge missed opportunity, man. The Chiefs not punching those first early 2 ones in, or the first 2 opportunities in early, and the Chiefs made this game a lot harder on themselves. You know, in my opinion, not capitalizing there. And then, of course, because as rough as this game kind of started for the Bengals, I was confident, like, okay, well, no, y'all going to let Joe hang around, and then that's when they're going to come back and bite you. Because you can't let when you got one-on-ones, man, you got to put them down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put them down. And so you let them hang around, man, and you get a game like this where it's 20-20, and we get a couple, you know what I'm saying? We get a couple eyebrow-raising plays, a couple eyebrow-raising calls, and then you got to get out of there by the skin of your teeth at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put a guy like that down when you get a chance. But all said, man, the Chiefs won and moved on, man. I think it's going to be a better game, Chiefs versus Eagles, than Bengals versus Eagles. That Eagles pass rushes is serious. And what we've learned about these Bengals, the Bengals only got Chris Jones rushing the passer. Frank Clark got in the mix. I don't know if Karlaftis got one. I mean, they got some guys that kind of eat off the plate of Chris Jones. But no, Eagles got 7. Eagles got about 6-7 dudes over there that's going to go get to it. You know what I'm saying? 4 of them got 10 sacks apiece, we already said. So, I mean, that was going to be ugly. Man, that one could have been real ugly if that's a matchup we get. Like, I don't know realistically how they was going to play or defend if it's the Eagles come to town. So But we do have the Chiefs, man, going. So I think it's going to be a better matchup. With this time, there's just shy of 2 weeks before that game is played. So Patty gets 2 more weeks to really lock in and focus on healing and getting that ankle in tip-top shape. Everybody else gets to clean up their boo-boos, man. Travis Kelce was on the questionable list with back spasms. So everybody gets to kind of heal up and get as close to full strength as we can, man, for which should be an epic matchup. You know, and we would be remiss if we did not mention this is going to be the first matchup in the Super Bowl era of black quarterback, 2 starting black quarterbacks leading the 2 teams going against each other in Jalen Hurts and in Patrick Mahomes. So kudos and shout out for that, man. And so, but like I said, man, it should be an excellent game. So can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait on that one too. Either, Willie Jack. Can't wait on that one. And you know, want to know why? Another reason I can't wait, Willie Jack?
What's that, bro?
Because we're going to be live, bro.
And you know that.
We're going to be live, man.
And you know that.
Yeah. At the top of the episode, man, me and Willie Jack, man, for the first time, and Let the Film Speak history, will be in the same room, in front of the same camera, under the same lights, at the same table. Off of that football talk, man. And we're going to give y'all that Super Bowl preview live in the same room, man. So, hey, tune in to Let the Film Speak, man. Let the Film Speak. Also, there won't be a Chopping Willie in the morning this Sunday, y'all. So y'all have to worry about that.
Good reminder.
In the morning. We'll be back next week on Wednesday. Of course, we're gonna have a great show for y'all, so you got to tune into that. So just want to throw that out there. But other than that, Willie Jack, I think that's it and that's all, man.
That's all, man. Hey, man, y'all know what's going on, man. We came, we saw, we conquered, man. We handled our business, did everything we had to do, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all knew it was going to be a 12-round unanimous knockout when y'all show up on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, man. Real quick, man, let's get the roll call going down, man. Let me see if I can find y'all real quick. Man, hey, shout out to the home team, man. They was in here real heavy, man. I seen my sister in here. I think my mama slid through. My auntie was in here. I appreciate all the love. Y'all know what's going on. Day one game, Jarrell was in the building in here early, man. We appreciate the love, big dog. Man, day one game, my dog Tom was in the building, man. We appreciate the love, homeboy. Man, I'm looking for y'all real quick, man. Hey, I'm looking. Man, I'm tripping, man. Shout out to our dogs, man. The Real Deal STL Sports, man. Kevin Wilkinson, man. Our dogs Skinny, man. Bojo, I know I seen you in here as well earlier, man. So, hey, we appreciate the love, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. Say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, charge it to my head, man. Don't charge it to my heart. You know we thinking about you, big dog. We appreciate all the love and support. Y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all know we came here to cook. You know what I'm saying? Because on Wednesday, 7 o'clock, we don't wear no watches, bro. We ain't got nowhere to be but in here. You feel me? Wednesday at 7 o'clock, catch your dogs, man. My dog Chop told y'all can sleep in a little bit this Sunday, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody take this Sunday off. We earned it. We deserve it, man. It was a long season. Y'all was right here with us, man. We battled it out, man. We had 17 weeks, man. We all need a break, man. We get to sleep in a little bit, relax on Sunday, do something with the kids, the wife and kids if you got to do that, man. So this Sunday, man, y'all got it off. But circle back around, man. We be right back on Wednesday, next Wednesday at 7, man. We still gonna have an interesting and fun show, man. Y'all know how we get down, man. So it'll still be a good time. But follow in, kick it with your dogs, man. And then other than that, man, just like my dog Chop told you. Because I think after that one is Showtime Sunday. I think that's the big dance. And that's Showtime, baby. Showtime, baby. You feel me? And we're going to be in here kicking it, man. And so can't wait for y'all to be a part of that. Man, hey, one more time, man, for the home team, for the support. Man, Real Deal STL Sports, No Budget Podcast, Prospect and Precision Painting, Stink Prints, man, No Balls, No Glory, No Vultures, the podcast. Y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all know it's big love this way, man. We appreciate our love support as always. And we will be back, man. Same bad time, just a different bad channel. That's next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Holla at your dogs. Y'all be safe, be smooth. Peace.
Peace.